2020 Planetary Transits for Pisces and Pisces Rising. This is an equal house chart set up for 0 degrees Pisces on the ascendant, Eastern Daylight Time, New York. We begin May 1st, 2020 with 2 planets in Capricorn in the 11th house sector. Jupiter at 26 degrees Capricorn and Pluto at 24 degrees of Capricorn retrograde. The Sun is placed in the 3rd house at 11 degrees of Taurus, along with the planet Uranus at 6 degrees and the planet Mercury also at 6 degrees of Taurus. Venus is placed at 19 degrees of Gemini in the 4th house sector. Saturn is at 1 degree of Aquarius in the 12th house with Mars at 21 degrees. Neptune is at 20 degrees of Pisces in the 1st house, and the Moon is in Leo in the 6th at 15 degrees. Overview. February 19th through February 28th birth dates, Sun in Pisces at 0 to 9 degrees. Transiting Mars in Pisces over the last 2 weeks of May will make a conjunction to your Sun, giving you an extra boost of energy. This is an egocentric, willful vibration. Avoid knocking people over and creating conflict. February 19th through 24th birth dates will experience Uranus in Taurus square their sidereal sun placement all of 2020. Sweeping changes may happen that enliven and invigorate your life. Expect to be liberated from elements of your life that have become oppressive. Uranus always sets us free. It heralds the arrival of raw truth into murky situations. Hopefully, it will be stimulating and not too disruptive. Expect to draw into your life a few Aquarians or Sun Uranus people, as well as the unexpected. March 1st through March 10th birth dates, Sun in Pisces at 10 degrees to 19 degrees. March 8th, 9th, and 10th birth dates have transiting Neptune in Pisces conjunct the Sun at exactitude all of 2020, an energy that has been in effect for the past 18 months. Your personal astrological chart will indicate the possible ways this energy may manifest in your life. Generally speaking, it may bring a relationship with a Neptune type, someone who has this planet prominent in their chart or the sign Pisces strongly placed. Neptune may also bring the dissolution of a current relationship or the loss of a significant male figure in your life. Career endings and ego defeats may occur depending on how the Sun and Neptune are configured in your personal astrological chart. This energy is deeply emotional and heartfelt, and potentially very creative. It is also profoundly spiritual and enhances whatever psychic aptitude may be present. On a health level, Neptune rules infectious diseases. Avoid becoming lax about your personal care. Neptune also rules allergies, and at least a half a dozen times during the course of my life under a Neptune energy, I had a sudden allergic reaction to a food or a food additive or a substance that never bothered me before. Okay? The good news is once the planetary energy passes out of orb of influence, you can reintroduce the food or the food additive that created the allergic reaction, and you will find that it has absolutely no impact whatsoever. In other words, everything goes back to normal. March 11th through March 20th birth dates, Sun in Pisces at 20 degrees to 29 degrees. March 11th and March 12th birthdays will feel Neptune conjunct the Sun in 2020. Read the above description for details. March 17th, 18th, and 19th births will experience Jupiter sextile the Sun in May of 2020, and March 13th through March 16th births will have Pluto sextile the Sun. Generally speaking, these energies make your life run smoothly. Whatever you're trying to accomplish happens easily. Doors open and others help you. Therefore, use 2020 to push for everything you want in your life. Don't waste a single minute of this lucky vibration. The nature of the sextile is opportunity. It's about communicating, meeting people, making contacts, and as a result, being presented with opportunities. In other words, get out there and don't try to go it alone. Okay, before we go on to section 2, I would like to make a distinction between this section and section 1. Section 1 has to do with the long-term transits, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune, and Pluto. They're much more dramatic and far-reaching. Section 2 has to do with day-to-day energies. Sometimes if you're not looking for them, you might miss them altogether, but they are very valid. The reason being, they affect your state of mind for a time. They affect the mood that you're in. They explain why on some days you wake up full of enthusiasm, and on other days, for absolutely no reason, you fall out of the wrong side of the bed and you just don't want to go to work, you don't want to do anything, you want to be left alone, whatever. That's what this section, part 2, has to do with, your day-to-day moods. Depending on the planets involved, the mood might last for several hours, it might last for a half a day, or it might last for the entire day. Okay? So, on May 3rd, Venus square Neptune between houses 4 and 1 is an aspect of deception resulting in confusion. The information you receive from a family member may be at odds with what your gut feelings are telling you about a situation. On another level, do not permit any news you receive to activate your inherent fears. Your imagination may be in overdrive. The planet Mercury conjuncts the Sun on May 4th in your 3rd house, bringing the possibility of good news. Expect this day to be extra busy with emails, phone calls, and text messages. May 7th brings the full moon, 6:46 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time at 17 degrees of Scorpio in opposition to the Sun at 17 degrees of Taurus, spanning houses 9 and 3, highlighting communication with others, both local and global, as well as the conscious mind versus the intuitive mind. The planet Neptune at 20 degrees of Pisces is aspecting this full moon harmoniously by trine and sextile, along with Mercury and Taurus at 20 degrees, making a conjunction and opposition. These are excellent energies to communicate, compromise, share ideas, reach conclusions, and make decisions based on both facts and gut feelings. On May 9th, under Mercury trine Pluto, and on May 10th, under Mercury trine Jupiter, between houses 3 and 11, you may receive good news from a friend. These energies favor positive communication and positive outcomes. Work done in group endeavors is also favored. The Sun in the 3rd house, sextile Neptune in the 1st on May 10th, is a sensitive, compassionate vibration, excellent for discussing issues with your contacts and finding common ground. Also on May 10th, the planet Saturn turns retrograde at 1 degree of Aquarius. Mercury square Mars on May 10th or 11th, depending on your location, between houses 3 and 12 is a frictional energy. Care is needed on how you communicate with others. Try to avoid harshness. On May 11th, the planet Mercury enters Gemini and moves into your 4th house. On May 12th, Mars enters Pisces and moves into your 1st house. The planet Venus turns retrograde on May 13th at 21 degrees of Gemini, and Jupiter turns retrograde on May 14th at 27 degrees of Capricorn. May 15th brings the Sun trine Pluto between houses 3 and 11, favoring getting together with friends and catching up. Use this energy of renewal to heal any recent tensions. Sun trine Jupiter on May 17th, also between houses 3 and 11, a lucky, lighthearted, expansive vibration under which to take a break and have some fun if you can. On May 20th, A retrograde Venus square Neptune between houses 4 and 1 could indicate receiving communication from an old love from your past. It could open up buried feelings and emotions. Protect yourself and don't believe everything you hear. Also on May 20th, the Sun enters Gemini and moves into your 4th house. May 22nd brings the new moon, 1:39 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time at 2 degrees of Gemini in the 4th house, highlighting family concerns, home improvements, property and real estate over the month ahead. If you desire to make changes on the home front or have a fresh start in your family relationships, this is the month to do it. May 22nd is action-packed, with 3 aspects that all indicate a focus on communication with family members. Sun trine Saturn between houses 4 and 12, and Mercury conjunct Venus in the 4th indicate favorable and harmonious discussions with loved ones. The 12th house deals with your emotional past, especially buried and unresolved feelings and emotions. Now is the time to have that heart-to-heart talk. A session with a psycho-spiritual counselor would also yield results. Under Mercury square Neptune, however, some confusion is inevitable, usually due to not having all the facts upon which to base a decision. Best bet is to wait until you have greater clarity, and then draw your conclusions. Mars sextile Uranus on May 25th between houses 1 and 3 is a freedom aspect, meaning chances are you will be in the mood to break out, break free, and get away from routine duties and responsibilities. Since this energy involves Mars, physical exercise is favored.